I'm going to show you how to make one of my family and friends' favorite recipes because everyone I know can eat this, including me. So I'm going to show you this quick cookie that I made up that has only 3 ingredients. And it is so easy to whip up and it's so delicious and you will absolutely love it. So let's get started. There's literally nothing to this recipe. You will be amazed how easy it is. I'm going to be using almond flour. So the only thing I would say is just make sure if you are serving this somewhere where there's a crowd that you make sure that nobody has a nut allergy. But here we go. So almond flour, I have 2 cups here. I have a tablespoon of vanilla powder. You can use vanilla sugar, you can use regular vanilla, whatever you have. I love vanilla powder. It reminds me of when I was a child, and the smell always makes me feel like a 5-year-old baking with my grandma. And of course, you know that I don't like to use sugar on a regular basis. So pretty much everything I make that I serve weekly to my family has maple syrup in it. You know, sometimes I'll use coconut sugar, but most of the time I just use maple syrup. And that is ½ a cup. You can adjust it to taste if you want yours sweeter or, you know, not so sweet. So I'm gonna stir this up first because again, like a lot of my other recipes, everything is texture based. So I'm just going to show you what the texture is supposed to look like. And you can kind of make it your own from there. So right now it's a little bit crumbly, which is not what I want. So I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of water. That's 1, 2, I have 3. Let's see what it's like. So what's really good about these videos is I get to actually pass my recipes on to my family and friends, which, you know, is hard for me because I'm a wing it kind of cook. So this is pretty nice and sticky. Just gonna add a little bit more water into it. So that puts us up to 4 tablespoons of water. So you can kind of see it's very doughy and squishy, but not too watery, and that's the consistency that you want. In this recipe, sometimes I do add an egg. It gives it a little bit more of a lift, but this tastes just fine if you want to stay more healthy and simple. So you can use a scoop, you can use a piping bag if you want to make it look fancy. I have an ice cream scooper here, but I think today I'm going to make these little tiny balls that I'm going to kind of squish down a little bit. Just going to take off my rings. They don't need to go in the cookie. And there we go. So this recipe I made up because my husband has an insatiable sweet tooth, and I'm very fearful of sugar, and I'm very careful what I feed my family. So I made this up, and I can whip it up literally in a couple of minutes, and it goes in the oven for only about 20 minutes or so. So it's so easy to make something homemade and, you know, freshly baked that your family will love, and you won't feel guilty serving it to them. So they're very nice and moldable. Just gonna make them into these beautiful little round cookies. You can make them whatever size you like. Just kind of watch the baking process if you are going to make them bigger or smaller, whatever shape that you like. So these go into the oven at 350 for about 20 to 25 minutes. Because there's no eggs or anything in it, it's really no big deal how well you cook it through. You're just trying to create a nice like soft and warm texture. Okay, so I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm going to fast forward you guys, and I will show you what they look like when they're out of the oven. Make these, guys. They are so really worth it, and it is a really nice staple in your recipes that you can whip up if somebody even just shows up at your house and you want to be impressive. This is the way to do it. Nobody has to know how easy it is.